Welcome, friends, and I'm so glad to have you here with us. Today, we're going to discuss something that is a matter of concern for all of us. The Safe Pearl Foundation is presenting a series on overcoming COVID 19. Our nation, India, is ravaged with so many cases. Daily, we hear in the news that so many people have lost their lives to this infection, this virus. Today, I am joined with a very dear friend, Prakash Nazareth, who himself has had COVID and has been through it and has overcome it. The reason we are sharing these testimonies is to tell you that there is hope, to tell you that it is not the end. There is hope. And so today I have with me a very special guest, Prakash Nazareth. We welcome you from the Safe Pearl Foundation. We would like to hear from you about your experience with COVID 19.
Hi, Pearl, and thank you first of all for giving me this opportunity to share my experience. I feel blessed that it could be helpful to a lot of people. Thank you so much.
Prakash, I would like to thank you firstly for taking this time and coming and joining us live. Because of the circumstance, we have to do this via Zoom. But nevertheless, I'm sure what you have to share is going to be a blessing to many people. So before we go any further, I need to ask you, what were the symptoms that you experienced that made you suspect that you are suffering from COVID 19? What were the changes in your body that made you realize that this might not be a regular flu, a regular fever? This has to be something different. What was that?
So let me begin with that. I am an entrepreneur, and by nature, I am a teacher. I used to conduct kind of sessions with my employees every now and then, and telling them, of the protocols of COVID and what they need to do, and these are the symptoms. And when you have, don't come to work. That kind of all the useful information I used to give them. So I was myself kind of like a data bank, knowing things. So when it occurred to me, the first day, I was sitting on the sofa, I remember, and I felt very lethargic. I kind of didn't want to go ahead and do anything. Okay, so then I realized that I had some kind of different feeling in my throat, and as you know, those are the first signs. But I didn't know about lethargy so much. But I then went to kind of check my thermometer, like what is my temperature, and it was on the borderline. It was 99, but I was feeling feverish. So so these are the symptoms that kind of made me think, could I be having COVID?
Okay. What I appreciate as you shared, Prakash, is that you are very sensitive because you knew the symptoms. And even though it wasn't like a full fledged fever, but you were a little concerned that this is something a little unusual. So, what did you do? Because when you were suspecting this, you didn't have a test done as yet. So, what were the precautionary measures you took just to protect your family?
Yes, so I just waited for some time, and I kept away. Mentally, I knew that something was wrong, so I kept away from my family members in a way. And the first thing that I did was I didn't go to work. I told my wife I'm not feeling well, and she also said that, why don't you take a day off? And so I decided to take the day off and just watch on my temperature. And the minute my temperature went above, it came to about 100, I sensed the need to quarantine myself. So I had mentally prepared my family also, that if any of them, I have children, the youngest is about 16. If she comes up with something like this, so she needs to know that she would be quarantined herself. It shouldn't disturb her emotionally. So I had done this, and so I quarantined myself. So, and the rest of my family on that day went out. So, there was a lot of time of thinking what I need to do. And so I kept myself in my bedroom, which has an attached toilet. and that's how I quarantined myself.
Okay, so the very first time you suspected this, you went ahead and got yourself quarantined so that nobody in the family gets the same problem. What I want to know from you is, when did you do the test? I mean, how did you do it, and when did you do the test?
Okay, so in the evening, when my family kind of returned, I told them that, by a phone that I would be here. That kind of disturbed my elder daughter in a way because she is very close to me. So she said, Dada, what are you doing? What is all this? And no, you may have an ordinary fever. And so I told her that I need to see that you're all safe. And so the next thing I did, I'm a little spiritual person. I prayed, that the Lord takes care of me. And then I got in touch with my doctor. So I've been under homeopathy for, say, about 15 odd years. So I got in touch with her and I told her the symptoms, and she said, "Good that you have quarantined yourself because I sense that you could be COVID positive." So, we got the medication started
Mhm.
immediately before the test could be done. So I did the COVID test after a couple of days. I got the appointment and got it done. So that was the kind of time that you're really tense. So I was praying, and I sensed the Lord tell me deep within that I'm healed. So I expected the test results to be negative, which didn't turn out the case. The test results were positive. So I was kind of very disheartened. And, the thing that happens is totally mental, emotion. It happens emotional that you have to struggle with this feeling that now you are COVID positive, you're a COVID patient, and that anything could happen to you. So these thoughts first dawned to me.
Prakash, I want to know one thing. You said you called up your homeopathic doctor and then you took medicine. So you didn't self-medicate. Like many people, they ask somebody else, what have your symptoms have been? Did you take this medicine? Did you take that medicine? And they self-medicate. But you haven't done that, right? You've consulted a doctor every time you took medicine, if I'm correct. Yes.
Yes. So
Friends,
I consulted the homeopath, and I uh, I kind of took a little bit of vitamin C and
mhm.
zinc. So those are the only two things which are very common, kind of
Yeah.
multivitamins that I started taking.
So friends, just an important note here. Many people tend to self-medicate, and this kind of hides certain things. This causes more trouble. When you realize that maybe you're coming under something like COVID-19, it's always advisable to talk to your doctor, seek medical help. We want to make that very clear over here that you need to seek medical help, like Prakash did. You can talk to your family doctor and then go ahead and do the test and accordingly take steps. So, Prakash, when you got to know that you have a positive result, I know that many people, because of what is happening right now, the moment they hear COVID-19 and they get to know that it's a positive result, they get very disheartened. Something happens deep within where a fear comes in that this could take my life potentially, this could, hamper so many things. So I want to ask you, how did you overcome that? Because that, I feel, is something that everybody needs to overcome. It's a challenge that every person who goes through COVID has to overcome. So could you shed light on how you overcame that?
Yeah. So actually, I feel that is the crux of my gradually getting healed. So when I first came to know that I was COVID positive, as you said, the kind of fear sets in, and you also kind of worry about your family. Okay,
Mm.
so that came to me, and as I told you, I felt that I would be negative because of my spirituality, and I was praying, and the Bible says that by Jesus' stripes and wounds you're healed. So I was kind of claiming that verse. Okay,
Mhm.
but it didn't happen immediately. Okay, so the fever kind of after being positive and all this tension that goes with it, the fever
Mhm.
started to rise from 100 and to 102. So in fact, I started thinking what was happening to me, and the doctor then asked me to do a chest scan. Okay?
Mhm.
And the chest scan, I thought the chest would be clear, but then it showed traces of pneumonia, and
Mhm.
that kind of really put me into a shell kind of thing, because the words used were like glass, glass opacity scene. Now,
Mhm.
you've seen videos, you've seen WhatsApp messages, social media bombarding with all kinds of information, and they tell you that your lungs become kind of glass and hard
Mhm.
with corona, and so all these thoughts became kind of intimidating, which started
Mhm.
troubling me. Okay,
Mhm.
and in that, I sensed deep within. You have to look inside, and if you got faith, you got to use that. Okay, you can't remain fearful, and
Mhm.
that is your downfall. I should say. So I trusted that my God can take care of everything. Okay, so this message that I got, that one morning, that
Mhm.
if you think that your father is taking care of you, I kind of visualize that God is my father, and I'm his child, and that is the image I held on strongly to. That if he is there, that nothing will happen to you. Okay, and I feel that you should cling on to something that you strongly believe in, to drive away the fear in you.
Right, absolutely. I agree with you that you need to cling on to what you believe in these moments of fear and uncertainty. That is what will keep you going. So, Prakash, how many days were you in quarantine? How many days had you to be alone, away from your family, even though they were right there? You couldn't talk to them, you had to stay away. How many days were you in that situation?
So the BMC had told me after the test to remain 10 days in quarantine. But for the safety of my family, extended another 2 days. So total, I would say I was about 16 to 17 days all by myself.
Oh my God.
So that was the length of time.
So 16 to 17 days all by yourself. Now, I honestly
Yes.
know that is a very, very dangerous time period for most people. You see, we are all made social beings and we crave for interaction. We crave to have somebody to talk to, share our thoughts and feelings with. So, when you had to be in quarantine for so many days, how did you survive that? What did you do in that time?
So there are a lot of things I did, actually. So I utilized that time as me time, as a
Okay.
time. So I thought to myself that this is the time out for me, and so I took the time to do a little bit of office work when I could. Nothing too
Mhm.
strenuous, and
Mhm.
I spent my time praying. I spent a lot of time interacting with my family.
Mhm.
So, in fact, my wife and my elder daughter, they used to call me regularly and see that I'm okay. And even I used to keep on talking to them. Then
Mhm.
my extended family, my mother, my brothers, kept talking to them. Even though sometimes I may warn you that close family members can be really intimidating. They when my report, especially of my chest scan came,
Mhm.
uh, I told my brother to pick it up, and
Mhm.
so nothing was hidden. Then the whole family knew that I had pneumonia in the chest, and so they said, "No, you better hospitalize yourself," and this and that. And so
Mhm.
again, they can be sources of fear.
Mhm.
And there was a time when I literally stopped taking a few calls
Mhm.
of people who actually put fear in me. So, I used to tell them why I'm not taking the calls, because I wanted to believe that I'm okay, and I wanted to keep the faith. And but I would say that you need to talk to people. You need to talk to people who are encouraging, who are supporting, people who lift you up at this time. And there's a great need for it.
Yes. I totally agree with what Prakash said. We need to surround ourselves with people who will boost us, encourage us that, it's not the end. The world is not, it's not the end. Everything is not over. There's still hope and you will come through. They say that positive thoughts have a very big impact on your health. Even as, the more positive you stay, the more happy and cheerful you stay, it impacts your overall health. And it is true even with COVID-19 that when you are surrounded with family, friends who are encouraging you, that you're not alone in this battle, we are here with you, you will come through. I'm sure that you will overcome it. Yes. So what I need to ask you now, lastly, is what is your message? What is your message to people who are either they've gone through this, they're going through it, or they may go through it in the coming days because of the spread of this infection? What is your message to them? What would you tell them? What is your advice to them?
I would say that, just believe that God has created you for a purpose, and there is a plan that He has for you, and that plan is to be fulfilled. And we are no one to kind of put a stop to that plan by thinking negative, by being fearful, and get get people who support you involved in this. Don't like I had a lot of people praying for me. I asked people to pray for me. Don't be alone and think that I need to hide this. This is kind of a stigma or something like that. Get people involved with what is happening to you, and especially those who are very encouraging, those who kind of support you with prayers, with words, with action. It gives you a good feeling, and that will help you combat it. I sincerely, at the latter part of what I thought that if not for the people around me, if not for my God, if not for what I believed in, I may be one of those who would land up in a hospital or something like that. So just believe that you're gonna be okay. This one also will pass through.
Yes. Uh, Thank you, Prakash. That was such an encouraging message from you. Friends, if you are going through this, yes, you need to be cautious. You need to take all the precautions. But at the same time, you need to know, as Prakash rightly said, this too shall pass. Yes, this is not the end. This is just a time when you need to stay apart from everyone else, focus on the things that you love. Yes, encourage yourself, have good nutrition, listen to the doctor, take medications as prescribed, build yourself, and I'm sure you'll bounce back and do much better. Yes, thank you for joining us. We're going to come up with many more such stories of overcoming COVID-19. Together, we will overcome. Thank you for joining us. Have a lovely day. Namaste. God bless.
Namaste.